Have you ever found yourself in a relationship so confusing, so profoundly chaotic, that you began to question your own sanity? You knew something was deeply wrong, but you couldn't find the words to describe it. Then, one day you stumbled upon a term, narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, and suddenly a lifetime of confusion clicked into place. All the gaslighting, the rage, the love bombing, and the devaluation finally had a name. It was a profound, a devastating, and a deeply liberating moment. But once you discover that term, why is it that you can't stop reading about it, watching videos on it, and analyzing every single detail of your relationship through that lens? You find yourself devouring every article, every book, every video, as if your life depends on it. You are constantly replaying conversations in your head, re-examining every memory and every text message, and you can't seem to turn your brain off. You're not alone. Many people who have been tangled in narcissistic relationships become almost obsessed with learning about NPD. But here's the deeper, more profound truth. That obsession is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign that you are stuck or that you are crazy. It is a profound and unshakable psychological survival response. It is a sign that your brain, your mind, and your very soul are fighting for clarity, for understanding, and for freedom. And in today's video, we're going to uncover exactly why you feel this pull, what it reveals about your healing journey, and how you can use this knowledge to break free instead of staying stuck in a cycle of analysis. We're going to show you that your obsession is not a problem. It is a profound and beautiful sign that you're on the path to healing. Because sometimes the very thing you can't stop thinking about is the key to your recovery. Part 1. Why NPD feels like an obsession. From a psychological and neurological perspective, when someone leaves or is still stuck in a relationship with a narcissist, their brain is in a state of profound and legitimate overdrive. It is a state of psychological panic, a desperate attempt to make sense of a reality that has been turned upside down. The obsession with learning about NPD is not a flaw in your character. It is a sign that your brain is trying to make you safe. Why? Because narcissistic relationships are psychologically and neurologically designed to be a profound trauma that defies logical understanding. They are filled with 1. Confusion and mixed signals. The very nature of a narcissistic relationship is a constant, unending stream of confusion. One moment, you are love-bombed. You're the most amazing, most beautiful, most special person in the world. The next, you are devalued. You are worthless, you are a burden, you are the cause of all their problems. This constant cycle of hot and cold, of reward and punishment, creates a state of profound confusion in your mind. Your brain is wired to seek patterns, to find logical explanations for the world around you. But in a narcissistic relationship, there are no patterns. There is no logic. There is only a profound and terrifying unpredictability. This leaves your mind in overdrive, constantly replaying conversations, searching for the answer, searching for the logic that will make sense of the chaos. 2. Trauma bonding. This is not just in your head. It is a profound and measurable biological and neurological phenomenon. The cycle of love bombing and devaluation creates a chemical cocktail in your brain that is profoundly addictive. The love bombing phase releases a powerful rush of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. It feels like a high, a rush of reward that makes you feel alive. But the devaluation phase releases powerful stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, that keep you in a state of fight or flight. The constant cycle of this reward and punishment actually creates a trauma bond, a powerful psychological and physiological addiction to the person who is hurting you. Your obsession with learning about NPD is your brain's desperate attempt to understand the addiction, to figure out why you are so drawn to a person who is so bad for you. It is a way of fighting a biological addiction with profound and relentless psychological clarity. 3. Cognitive dissonance. This is the core psychological puzzle that your brain is so desperately trying to solve. Cognitive dissonance is the profound mental and emotional pain of holding two conflicting beliefs at the same time. In a narcissistic relationship, you hold two conflicting truths in your mind. They love me and they hurt me. You see their good side, the side they show the world, and you hold on to it as proof of their love. But you also see their bad side, the side they show you in private, and it causes you profound pain. Your obsession with learning about NPD is your brain's desperate attempt to resolve this painful puzzle. It is your mind saying, I have to find an answer. I have to find a name for this. I have to find a truth that makes sense of this profound contradiction. The obsession is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your mind is fighting for the truth. So, have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying conversations, trying to figure out if it was really your fault? That is your brain trying to solve the riddle of the narcissist. It is trying to find an answer that makes sense of the chaos. It is trying to find a name for the profound confusion that they have created in your life. It is your brain's way of fighting for your sanity. Here's where psychology gives us some profound and liberating relief. Your obsession with narcissistic personality disorder is not a weakness. It is actually your brain's intelligent and profound attempt to find safety, to find clarity, and to heal. It is a sign that your mind is fighting for your sanity and your well-being. When you Google, binge-watch videos, or read endlessly about narcissism, what you're really doing is a deep and courageous psychological work. You're trying to 1. Name the abuse. For so long, you were living in a fog of confusion. You knew something was wrong, but you couldn't put your finger on it. You knew you were in pain, but you didn't have the words to describe it. Putting a name on what happened, naming it as gaslighting, as love bombing, or as a trauma bond, is a powerful act of clarity. It lifts the fog. It gives you a map for a previously unknown, treacherous landscape. This is a profound and fundamental part of healing. You are no longer living in a state of quiet confusion. You are living in a world of profound and undeniable truth. You are no longer questioning your sanity, because you now have a name for the chaos that has been created in your life. 2. Regain control. The narcissist's entire game is about controlling you, controlling the narrative, and controlling your reality. They make you feel powerless, small, and insignificant. But knowledge is the ultimate antidote to their manipulation. When you learn about their tactics, when you understand why they love bomb, why they gaslight, and why they discard, you regain a profound sense of control. You can see their behavior coming. You can predict their next move. You can understand that their actions are not about you. They are about them. This knowledge is power, and it is the first, most powerful step in reclaiming your own life and your own agency. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are a person with profound and unshakable clarity. 3. Protect yourself. At its core, your brain is wired for survival. It is constantly scanning for threats and trying to make you safe. By binging on information about narcissism, your brain is doing what it is designed to do. It is identifying a pattern of a threat. By spotting the patterns, by understanding the red flags, you are reducing the risk of ever falling into a similar trap again. This is a crucial and healthy part of the healing process. You're learning the language of a toxic person so that you can hear their manipulative words from a mile away. You are essentially creating a psychological defense system, an internal alarm that will go off every time you encounter a similar pattern in the future. The obsession with the topic of narcissism isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about you reclaiming your mind, your power, and your profound sense of self. It is a sign that you're fighting for your own healing and your own future. But here's the hard truth, and this is where you have to be very, very honest with yourself. While learning is a profound and necessary part of healing, over-immersion in the topic can actually keep you emotionally and psychologically tied to the narcissist. The very thing that is helping you to understand can, if you're not careful, become a psychological trap that keeps you from truly moving forward. How does this happen? 1. You keep them alive in your mind. Even if you have been no contact for months, even if you're no longer with them, your obsession with the topic can keep them alive in your mind. Every time you watch a video, every time you read an article, every time you analyze their behavior, your energy is still circling around them. Your mental energy is still focused on them, on their actions, on their brokenness. This keeps you from doing the crucial work of focusing on yourself, on your own healing, and on your own future. They are gone from your life, but they are still a profound and central part of your mental landscape. This keeps you trapped in their shadow, unable to fully step into the light of your own life. 2. You might mistake knowledge for healing. Understanding narcissistic personality disorder is profoundly important. It is the first step, but it is not the same thing as emotional processing and healing. You can know all the terms, gaslighting, hoovering, love bombing, without ever actually processing the grief, the pain, the profound loss, and the betrayal that you experienced. You can become an expert on narcissism, but still be an emotional wreck. The emotional work is the messy, painful, and necessary work of feeling your feelings, of grieving the relationship, and of learning to trust yourself again. Knowledge is the map, but you still have to take the painful journey. 3. You risk losing your sense of self. A narcissistic relationship is designed to make you lose your sense of self, to make you forget who you are. And if you're not careful, the obsession with learning about the topic can keep you trapped in the identity of a person who has been in a narcissistic relationship. If every thought, every video, and every book is about them, when do you start focusing on you? When do you start rediscovering your own passions, your own hobbies, and your own life? The danger of over-immersion is that you replace one form of obsession with another, and you never get to the part where you finally get to focus on your own profound and beautiful sense of self. Let me ask you, are you studying narcissism to understand your pain? Or are you accidentally keeping yourself trapped in their shadow? So, now that you understand why you feel this powerful pull toward learning about narcissistic personality disorder, the most important question is, how do you shift from being stuck in a state of intellectual obsession to using that same powerful energy as fuel for your own profound and beautiful recovery? The goal is to move from understanding them to understanding yourself. It is to take the mental energy you have been pouring into their brokenness and to finally pour it back into your own wholeness. Here are 4 essential steps that psychologists who specialize in this kind of trauma often recommend. First, you must acknowledge the obsession without shame. The first and most critical step is to be compassionate with yourself. You have been through a profound psychological trauma, and your brain is doing what it is designed to do. It is trying to make sense of the chaos. The obsession is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are a powerful, intelligent, and courageous person who is trying to heal. Release the shame. Be gentle with yourself. Do not judge yourself for feeling this pull. Acknowledging the obsession is the first step in taking control of it. You are not a victim of this obsession. You're a person who is using every tool they have to fight for their own sanity and their own peace. Second, you must balance knowledge with self-work. Learning about NPD is a crucial first step, but it is not the entire journey. Understanding their behavior is the map, but you still have to take the long, courageous, and sometimes painful walk toward your own healing. You must shift your focus from learning about them to learning about yourself. This means learning about boundaries, about self-esteem, about trauma recovery, and about what a healthy relationship looks like. You can do this through journaling, through trauma-informed therapy, through self-help books, and through support groups. The goal is to spend as much, or even more, time focusing on your own healing as you do on understanding their brokenness. Your healing is the point of the journey. Third, you must redirect your energy. You have been pouring a profound amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy into this relationship, and now that you are out, that energy has nowhere to go. If you're not careful, it will be redirected back toward obsessing about the narcissist. You must make a conscious, deliberate effort to redirect that powerful energy into things that will fill your cup instead of draining it. This might mean reconnecting with old hobbies, spending time in nature, starting a creative project, exercising, or volunteering. It means rediscovering the parts of yourself that you lost in the relationship. Every time you feel the pull to analyze their behavior, you must make a conscious decision to redirect that energy toward an action that will nourish your soul and help you to reclaim your own life. Finally, you must set limits on consumption. The obsession can become a trap if you allow it to consume you. You must make a conscious decision to transition from passive consumption of information to active participation in your own healing. This means setting firm, non-negotiable limits on how much time you will spend watching, reading, or analyzing the topic of narcissism. You can say to yourself, I will spend 30 minutes a day learning about this, and then I will redirect my energy towards something that will help me heal. You could take a break from social media. You could put down the books. This is not about denying your feelings. It is about taking control of your healing process. Remember, the goal isn't to master the narcissist. It's to rediscover yourself. So, if you've been sitting with the question, why am I so obsessed with NPD? The answer is not weakness, not madness, and not a flaw in you. The answer is simple, yet deeply powerful, and even freeing. It is your mind's natural way of trying to heal from the chaos you've endured. It's your brain's attempt to find meaning in the confusion, to fight for stability when everything felt upside down, and to protect you from ever walking through that same depth of pain again. This obsession that feels overwhelming is, in reality, a signal of your strength. It's proof of your resilience, your determination, and your fierce desire to be whole again, even if right now it feels like it's pulling you under. But you must remember something important. The act of healing doesn't reach completion just by studying them, analyzing them, or memorizing their patterns. That is only the doorway. That is the beginning of the path. The real work begins when you stop pouring all that powerful energy outward toward trying to decode their brokenness, and you gently redirect that energy inward toward yourself. Healing starts when you look in the mirror and see your own profound beauty and worth staring back at you. It begins when you shift your focus from the endless cycle of asking, why are they like this, to asking, what do I need to feel safe, whole, and loved again? The obsession with a narcissist may feel like a trap, but it is actually a necessary part of the journey. It's a bridge, not a prison. It is the step that eventually leads you toward the true destination, which is your peace, your happiness, and your unshakable sense of self-worth. That is where you are going, and that is where the journey is meant to carry you. If this video gave you a different way to see your obsession, if it showed you that it isn't a weakness, but rather a signal of your mind's desperate attempt to heal, then let that shift sink in. If it validated what you've been going through, if it made you feel less alone in your sleepless nights of confusion, and if it gave you even the smallest spark of courage to turn inward and choose yourself, then please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Doing so doesn't just support this channel. It extends a hand to someone else who is sitting in silence, tormented by questions, and aching for hope. Every click has the power to put this message in front of another soul who needs to know the truth. That their feelings are not strange, that their obsession is not failure, and that their struggle is not a weakness, but evidence of strength. Your support could become the lifeline someone else has been waiting for. The reminder that they too are not alone and that healing is possible. And above all else, never forget this truth. You are not defined by what they did to you. You are not the scars they left behind. You are not the lies they told. And you are not the brokenness they tried to bury you in. You are something far greater. You are more than the pain, more than the obsession, and more than the story of what they took from you. You are a powerful, courageous, and radiant human being who is walking the road toward lasting healing. You carry inside of you a strength that cannot be stolen and a light that cannot be dimmed. You are on the path to finding peace that cannot be shaken, love that cannot be destroyed, and a sense of self that no one will ever be able to take away again. You are more. You have always been more. And every step you take now is leading you closer to the wholeness and freedom you were always meant to claim.